The Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Spain is a famous symbol of the Catholic Church and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Surprisingly, it's still not finished. Even though construction started more than 135 years ago, it's still surrounded by cranes. The government keeps spending millions of dollars on it, even though it's technically illegal. In this video, we are going to bring to you all that you need to know about how the magnificent Sagrada Familia was built. Let's delve in. The Basilica in Barcelona has a chaotic history and an unfinished look, but it's still a stunning example of Gothic architecture. Every day, lots of tourists come to see it. But why is it taking so long to finish, and why is it illegal? What's the Barcelona government doing about it? Let's find out. But first, let's just admire how beautiful it is. Have you ever seen a church or any building like this before? We sure haven't. The famous Basilica de la Sagrada Familia has 18 giant columns. Each column is essential for religion. There's a tall tower for Jesus Christ and 4 nearby towers for the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Look at the tower above the apse with a star. It's for the Virgin Mary. In the late 2010s, the Tower of the Virgin Mary became the first to be over 100 meters tall. Then, the other central towers also got that tall. In 2019, the other 12 towers represented the 12 apostles. They are on 3 sides of the building. There are 3 parts: the Nativity, the Passion, and the Glory. The Nativity shows when Jesus was born, the Passion shows when he suffered, and the Glory is about when he came back to life. The Nativity faces east, the Passion faces west, and the Glory, which isn't finished yet, faces south. When it's done, the tallest tower will be 564 feet, or 172 meters high, making it the tallest religious building in Europe. But worldwide, it'll be second, after Casablanca's Hassan II Mosque. But making this famous building took a long time. It's not done yet, and guess what? They started building it way back in 1882, almost 140 years ago. That's when the architect Francisco de Paula del Valle made the first plans, but nobody knew so many things would happen to slow it down. No one could have guessed that 5 generations would see the building slowly come together. Let me tell you quickly how it happened. Back in 1882, Francisco was asked to build a church with neo-Gothic stuff like oversized windows, buttresses, and a tall bell tower. However, he and the church disagreed on the cost, so he quit the project. Then came Antoni Gaudí, a famous architect in Spain. In 1891, they started working on the Nativity facade, but Gaudí was busy with other things, so it took a while. Finally, in the summer of 1909, when Gaudí was 57, he focused only on the Basilica. It wasn't until 1925 that they finished the St. Barnabas Bell Tower, and that was just one tower. Let me tell you about Antoni Gaudí, an architect who became famous as Spain moved from the 1800s to the 1900s. Gaudí quickly became one of Europe's top architects. When he took over from Francisco de Paula del Valle, he had a big idea to show Jesus' life in the Basilica's design, but he knew he probably wouldn't live to see it finished. Even though he wasn't the first choice, he was perfect for the job. Look at his other Gothic designs like Teresian College, Episcopal Palace, and Park Güell. He even made a bridge, the bridge over the Torrent Pomaré. Back in university, his work was already impressive. The cemetery gate, the quayside building, and the fountain in Plaza Catalunya were all amazing designs. But why did it take so long to build Gaudí's most outstanding work, the Sagrada Familia? Well, there are a few reasons. Let's go back to 1909, when Gaudí started focusing all his time on the Basilica. At the same time, Barcelona was in chaos. The military fought with workers who were on strike, and things got violent. Over 50 religious buildings were set on fire, but thankfully, Sagrada Familia wasn't one of them. This time of violence, called the Semana Trágica, slowed down the work in the early 1900s. Are you enjoying this video? Then be sure to hit the subscribe button for more great videos. Then, in June 1926, just after they finished the first tower, tragedy struck again. Gaudí died suddenly and unexpectedly. As a sign of respect for his work, they buried him in the chapel of Our Lady Mount Carmel in the Sagrada Familia crypt. Interestingly, when people asked Gaudí why the project was taking so long, he would say, "My client is not in a hurry." He thought of God as his client. Even when Dominic Sergran took over, Gaudí's death was a big problem for the project. Jump to the 1930s and Spain was in a civil war. In 1936, La Sagrada Familia was damaged. Anarchists set fire to it, destroying the plans, photos, and models. It took until 1939 to rebuild everything, but the effects of the war lasted longer than that. There wasn't much money for donations, so the project stopped until 1952. Money was always a problem. Since La Sagrada Familia relies on donations, funds come irregularly and sometimes not at all. If a private company were in charge, things would be different. It's hard to say exactly how much money the long construction has cost over the past 150 years, but estimates say it's over 370 million euros, which is about 435 million US dollars. Some say it's worth billions now. At first, it was all private donations, but now ticket sales help with costs and upkeep. However you look at it, it's a huge amount, much more than other famous landmarks. The Eiffel Tower cost 1.5 million, and the Empire State Building cost just under 41 million to build. Compared to other churches, the reconstruction of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris cost 118 million euros. What's surprising is that this century-long construction of La Sagrada Familia has been illegal. Even though it's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the local authorities in Barcelona never permitted construction to start. When they began building, the land wasn't officially part of Barcelona. After more than 130 years of legal uncertainty, there's finally been some action. After 2 years of talks, it was decided that the Catholic Church and Sagrada Familia would have to pay 36 million euros, which is about 42 million US dollars over 10 years. That's pretty quick compared to how long it took to build the place. But technically, it's not a punishment or a fine. It's more like a contribution to the city with specific ways the money will be spent. 22 million euros will be used to improve the city's public transport, 7 million for better access to the metro, 4 million to renovate tourist streets near the site, and 3 million for street upkeep and security. Barcelona's Mayor Ada was happy about the deal and even tweeted to celebrate, calling it a historic agreement. But since it's technically an agreement, the church gets something too. In return for the money, the local authorities will make the construction of the landmark official and set up a group to find ways to finish the project faster. But we've learned to take finishing dates with a grain of salt. Still, they hope to finish the church by 2026, the 100th anniversary of the architect's death. No matter how much of it is done, the Catalonian icon will attract lots of tourists, that's for sure. Just like Paris has the Eiffel Tower and Giza has the pyramids, Barcelona has Sagrada Familia. Even though there are cranes around, it still gets over 10,000 visitors every day, making it the most popular tourist spot in the city. More than 3 million people visit every year, all eager to explore its fantastic interior, and you can join them for just 20 euros. Inside, the designs are detailed, bold, and elegant. Most churches are dark, but this one isn't. Gaudí chose light colors that reflect the beautiful light coming through the stained glass windows. Everywhere you look, there's something incredible to see. It's fantastic, right? Even though it's not finished on the outside, it's still spectacular. But how does it stack up against other unique and famous religious buildings worldwide? There's the Holgrimmer Church in Reykjavik, the vast Milan Cathedral, St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, and for something different, the Cathedral of Brasilia. Which one do you find the most impressive? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more great videos. Have a fantastic day. See you next time.